He'll provide sustenance for you in ways that you never even imagined that you could be sustained in those ways. It is the case, it's a promise of Allah, and He will fulfill the promise. He always has, and that's the reason He's given us these stories, to show us that if we'll simply commit to Him, then He'll also be there to protect us and carry us all the way through. And whatever happens after that is good for us. Even if you end up dying like Imam Hussein alayhi. Allah didn't forsake him, He never forsakes anyone. He didn't forsake Isa alayhi salam, the way the Bible says that why have you forsaken me? And He never forsook him or any of His prophets. If they died struggling, if they died fighting, it wasn't because God left them. Right? The death and the torture and the pain that they suffered was of their own choice. They knew what they were getting into. They did it willingly for the sake of Allah. They knew this is the only way they could serve God. By continuing to fight, even if it means being killed. And Imam Hussein did it willingly. He knew what he was doing, and he did it. Like, all the suffering, all the pain that he went through. Right? It wasn't something that God had abandoned him somehow, and he was on his own, and that's why he was killed. Right? So He never abandons anyone. It's up to us to make ourselves servants of Him, and that He'll never forsake us. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Are there any questions before we come to the Masah? Sister?
Yeah, I mentioned the Prophet said, the day I was born.
1 second, please. Just turn it off. Yeah. Can you say it again?
He said, the day I was born, the day I died, and the day I raised to life.
Right.
And he died, or because what we know, he said, like, the day I was born, the day I died.
Yeah, very good. Good question. So she's asking about this last verse. It said, "Salamun, may peace be upon me the day I was born, the day I die." Right? But we don't believe that he's dead yet. The Quran itself, we'll see later on, وَمَا قَتَلُوهُ يَقِينًا. They never killed him. Right? He didn't die. But رَفَعُهُ إِلَيْنَا. Like we raised him up to us. Right? So it's not indicating that he died at that point, but he will die eventually. He's going to live a normal human life. He's on hold right now. He's been lifted up at that stage to protect him. And at the end of time, like once the Imam Mahdi alayhi salam returns, then it's prophesied that Isa alayhi salam will also be sent back down to earth, and he'll continue his life from that point, and then he'll die as well as the Imam will.
So, you just mentioned the day he was born, and then you mentioned that he's going to be right before he dies. Because like born, died, like you mentioned born, rise, died, rise.
It's still part of his life though. He's still alive. He hasn't ceased to live right now. He's alive, but he's not alive on earth. He lives in some other place right now. Yeah, but he didn't mention that part of his life.
I think she means that when he dies, after he dies, he's going to be raised back to life. Isn't that what it's?
Yeah. Are you confused between the raising that's here and the raising of Isa alayhi salam? And when he's raised, the state that he is in right now, he's been raised up to heaven apparently. We don't know exactly where he is, but he's been raised up from earth. So he's no longer visible, he no longer lives here. Right? That's still part of his life though. It's like his life is suspended. He's still alive. He hasn't been killed yet. Right? So this is still included in that first salam. Salamun alayya yawma wulidtu. He's still kind of after that window of being born. He's alive until the day he dies. He'll return now to earth and then continue his life, and then he'll die. That'll be the second day, yawma amutu, and then finally after the barzakh, yawma ub'athu hayyan.
When he comes back, how long he lives?
We don't know the years. There are different times that are estimated in the ahadith, like 40 years, 50 years, 60 years that Imam Mahdi will rule. So we don't know if Isa alayhi salam will be there the whole time or how long he'll live. I don't think we know that.
Are they going to kill him again?
I don't know we'll look at some of the ahadith. I've collected some of the ahadith for the end time, so we'll look at those inshallah. Brother Rizwan?
Okay, I'd like to just make a comment that there's a difference of opinion among ulama whether he's actually alive or dead right now, because there's some hadith from Ibn Abbas that qubida ruhuhu when he was bayna sama wal ard, that in the Quran says mutawaffik, and so there's difference of opinion. And I think that to believe that he's actually dead and he will come back as raj'ah, just like Imam Hussein will come back, is not against our religion, because to believe that he's living up there on some cloud, for the last 2,000 years, where is he? Living on a cloud or something? If he's alive, what?
Don't belittle that belief either.
No,
Even
no,
if there's a difference of opinion,
I'm just saying.
we shouldn't make fun of either of the opinions.
I'm not making fun. I'm just saying it doesn't sound very realistic. And there is strong hadith from our own books, from the 12 Imams, that says that his soul was taken when he was between the heavens and the earth. Because if he's alive right now, he has to eat, he has to drink, he has to sleep.
Well, Imam Zaman also.
Yeah, but that's fine. But you
no-
don't do it in the 10,000 feet in the air, do you?
Let's take a look at this a little bit later. Because we'll actually take a look at the verses where Allah lifts him up. Right, so we'll get to that like it's a second or third episode from now, probably in 2 or 3 days.
No, but there are
and then
hadith.
how he's returned.
There are a hadith in our books, and I can give you the references, that says, "Ubida ruhuhu,"
That's true.
when he was made somehow earth. So that implies death. What does it imply?
So let's take a look at this when we look at the relevant verses, and that'll be like everyone will be on the same page.
Yeah, you see, because the Sunnis, they don't believe in raj'ah.
Based on the hadith, they said he is in the fourth sky or something like that.
Yeah,
and nobody knows what does it mean.
So let's put this discussion on hold for now, and then once we discuss the verses, then we'll be.
There was another Nabi who was also taken up, Elijah.
But Mahdi never died.
Huh?
Mahdi never died.
I'm not saying that the
Brother
Mahdi
Rizwan,
died.
please.
Okay.
I just had a quick question. There's when Prophet Jesus mentioned about that he was given the book, the conclusion was that he has the knowledge of the book, that he is given the knowledge of the book, or that he will be given the knowledge of the book, or what was that? I didn't follow that part.
In the verses today, yeah, he says that Atani al-Kitab, he's given me the book. It's Allah Ta'ala says that like the apparent meaning is it has already happened. He's already given me this book.
Knowledge.
Yeah. So
As soon as he
the
was
same
born,
way the Prophet, yeah, that kind of
one night.
yeah, the instantaneous transfer of knowledge of the book, the whole spirit of the book, everything's in him. He has that knowledge now. That seems to be the indication. It's not a physical physical book that he's given.
Sheikh, as far as the interception, the Shafa'ah, talking about the Shafa'ah, I've read somewhere that I think is Imam Sadiq alayhi salam says that we cannot do Shafa'ah, we do not do Shafa'ah in the Qabr. Adab al-Qabr is basically no Shafa'ah, but we do our Shafa'ah in the Judgment Day. Is this something you've read?
I don't know about them ever negating it like that. And we do know, for instance, from Imam Rida alayhi salam, that he says that if you do ziyarah of him, if you go and visit him, then he'll meet you at certain instances. One of the times is in the grave. So
yeah, I mean I know Imam Ali comes doing the Munkar and Nakir, but that's not considered the Shafa'ah. Shafa'ah is when basically they save you from torture. But as far as even Shaykh Mutahari also, in his Adlallah book, he mentions that the Shafa'ah
it's not in the grave.
In the grave,
Yeah,
there's no Shafa'ah.
Any other questions from the sisters?
So, Shaykh, we know, is there anybody else other than Imam Hussein alayhi salam, any of the prophets or any other of the Imams suffered more than Imam Hussein?
Even the Imams themselves, I'll say, that the reason he has such a great status is because he suffered more than everyone else.
Sayyid Shabab Ahl al-Jannah.
He's one of them.
Okay, when you say that, has his rank in Jannah higher than the other prophets?
I don't know. I don't know if you have any indication. But his suffering was greater, and his importance is even the Imams themselves, they